few weeks ago, Netflix came out with a docuseries called Unwell. The series dives into the very lucrative industry of alternative medicine and examines the pros and cons of various alt-med remedies. They cover things from breast milk used by bodybuilders who believe it'll help them gain muscle, to ayahuasca that is believed to cure addiction and other mental ailments. The series actually created quite a stir in both the MLM and anti-MLM communities because the first episode covered the world of essential oils. And it just so happens that two of the world's largest essential oil companies, doTERRA and Young Living, operate using the MLM business model. Before I go any further, this video is going to contain spoilers, so if you haven't watched the first episode of Unwell yet, I highly suggest you pause this video right now and go watch it. As someone who is very skeptical of the medical claims made by many oil users, I actually thought the show producers presented both sides of the argument pretty equally. The documentary itself seemed to take a pretty neutral stance on whether or not essential oils can play a role in our health. They gave equal segments to both the proponents of the essential oil industry and those who oppose it. Although I think this unbiased approach is probably a good thing in the long run, the downside is that it can potentially legitimize the unfounded medical claims made by many essential oil proponents. So in other words, they really left it up to the viewer to come to their own conclusions. But when it came to the MLM aspects of the essential oil industry, the show seemed to make it pretty clear that MLMs are extremely problematic. Notably, the show highlighted an ongoing lawsuit against Young Living, alleging that the company is an unlawful pyramid scheme.
Young Living operates an illegal pyramid scheme created under the guise of selling essential oils for quasi-medicinal purposes. In truth, Young Living is nothing more than a cult-like organization falsely peddling the ever-elusive promise of financial success and an alternative lifestyle. Julie O'Shaughnessy and hundreds of thousands of punitive class members just like her paid and lost hundreds and in some cases thousands of dollars to become Young Living Essential Rewards enrollees or members based on the promise of financial health, which Young Living calls abundance, and physical health, all through its brand of essential oils. Of course, the promise of riches and alternative health remedies are simply the hook used to grow Young Living's base of recruits, which is the true purpose of the organization and the source of immense profits for the defendants, not the members.
The show also interviews the attorney that is representing the plaintiff in the case. He mentioned that in the history of the company, which has been around since 1993, there have only been 45 people to reach the highest rank of Royal Crown Diamond, and that's out of millions of distributors. This just goes to show you that virtually all of the money generated within an MLM is funneled to the tiniest fraction of a percent at the tippy top of the pyramid. Another thing I noticed in the episode was that spirituality and religion, specifically Christianity, seemed to play an important role for many oil users featured in the show. Actually, it was more like for most of them, using oils was part of their spirituality. It seemed that oils are just as much a part of their religious practice as prayer or going to church. As if one of God's commandments is, "Thou shalt not use modern medicine, but instead anoint thyself with essential oils and you will be healed." The most obvious example of this in the episode was their interview with the Z family. Dr. Eric Zielinski, or Dr. Z, and his wife Sabrina, or Mama Z, own a very successful social media-based business where they offer masterclasses on the uses and benefits of essential oils. Dr. Z has also authored a wildly popular book called The Healing Power of Essential Oils. Unsurprisingly, Dr. Z and his wife believe that oils can cure various illnesses, diseases, and conditions, even cancer. Although Dr. Z is a licensed chiropractic doctor, he more often identifies himself as working in the field of biblical health. According to the Z's website, biblical health takes us beyond rumor and speculation to examine how to live an abundant life physically. They believe that oils are key to finding true biblical health and are tools that God Himself has given us to heal our bodies. Dr. Z also claims that he gives his medical seal of approval and fact checks everything they post on their website to ensure the highest quality content. The problem with this is Dr. Z is a chiropractic doctor. He's not licensed or trained on the topics that he addresses. He's giving his medical seal of approval on things that are way out of his depth of knowledge or training. You might be wondering how this chiropractor got wrapped up in the world of essential oils, and the story that Dr. Z tells on the show is honestly kind of confusing. On the show, he discusses how in his early 20s he was addicted to alcohol and drugs and was hopelessly depressed. He said his life was slowly spiraling out of control until one day he gave his life over to Christ, and he says his addiction and depression was literally cured overnight. On the other hand, he said his other health problems, such as gut disorders and skin issues, didn't go away overnight. He said that he discovered that God's will for humanity is to use natural healing methods, such as essential oils, to promote wellness. He said once he started following a natural, healthy lifestyle, that his gut and skin issues slowly went away. Why I find this confusing is because I don't quite understand how his newfound religion cured his addiction and depression overnight, but didn't cure or help his other health problems overnight. I don't want to minimize his story because it is awesome that he was able to pull himself out of addiction and depression. But I do worry that promoting it as part of his brand as a biblical or natural healer is sending a very dangerous message. Mental disorders are serious, and it's not something that is just cured overnight. It often takes a combination of psychotherapy, medications, and evidence-based stress management techniques such as regular exercise or meditation for an individual to see any improvement in their condition. To advocate that someone just trusts that God will cure their mental disorder instead of seeking counsel from a licensed doctor or psychiatrist is very dangerous in my opinion. Also, I find it kind of convenient that his issues that weren't cured by Jesus overnight are also the very issues he profits off of through his natural living business. What's even worse is that he openly suggests that essential oils are effective and safe alternatives to modern cancer treatments. This is something that I was shocked that he said so openly on the show because although it is a common belief that many oil users hold, they aren't often so public about it because it stirs up a lot of controversy. But he's actually been quite open about this even prior to the Netflix show airing. Dr. Z and his wife posted the following trailer for their masterclass on their YouTube channel over a year ago.
We've reached a critical moment in human history. Today, we spend more money on healthcare than ever before.
Yet we are far from healthy.
But here's the truth. The path to health isn't to be found in a pill.
It won't be delivered by the next great medical marvel.
Our healthcare system invests billions in new drugs, treatments, and advancements in modern medicine. Yet, our rate of chronic disease is increasing exponentially.
True health begins with you, not your doctor, and not a drug.
It begins with a decision to take control of your own health journey, to empower yourself to live the abundant life that you know is possible. And that abundant life begins with a holistic lifestyle, which includes essential oils. In this video masterclass, you'll learn about the healing power of essential oils, one of the safest and most powerful ways to fight disease and promote health.
We give you recipes and DIY tips all along the way. You'll learn how to detox your home, create your own body care products, reduce stress, and so much more.
And we'll even show you how essential oils can help you address cancer, diabetes, and many other serious health conditions.
It is our passion and life's work to help you get and stay healthy. This masterclass is a simple, practical, and powerful guide to an abundant life.
I'm Dr. Z.
And I'm Mama Z, and we invite you to join a free screening of our 10-part video masterclass, Essential Oils for Abundant Living.
After the Netflix show aired and received an incredible amount of backlash, Dr. Z and Mama Z posted a response to the show's airing on their website. In their response, they said that while they're not claiming miracle cures, it is a known fact that oils contain chemopreventative and chemotherapeutic properties, according to Tisserand and Young's Essential Oil Safety, a guide for healthcare professionals. I couldn't find much information on the second author, but Robert Tisserand is an aromatherapist. Not a doctor, an aromatherapist. Dr. Z and Mama Z also said in their response that although there isn't significant evidence to suggest oils help with cancer, other than experiments done on cancer cells in a petri dish, they have heard of many stories of people using oils who then become cancer-free. and that they believe these stories are true because they don't think that people lie. The best form of evidence, the anecdote, because we all know how incredibly reliable anecdotes are, and how our brains are totally not open to suggestion or biases, and how no one ever exaggerates or misremembers things when they're telling a story. Sense the sarcasm. So it seems that the Z's have built this wellness empire on nothing more than unproven hypotheses and their assertion, loosely based on scripture, that this is how God intends things to be. They then wrap it up nicely with a bow by saying that Dr. Z gives it all his medical seal of approval, which would be great if he was actually qualified to be approving the things that he is. It would be like me saying that because I have a degree in air traffic management, that I can now give my personal seal of approval on the design specs for Boeing's next jumbo jet, which I obviously couldn't, because even though I do have knowledge and experience in aviation, I don't know how to build an airplane. The biggest problem is that the Z's are not unusual. There's a growing number of people who specialize in biblical health, which is also referred to as pastoral medicine or pastoral science. There are literally quote-unquote colleges where people can earn degrees in pastoral medicine, but a degree in pastoral medicine is not a medical degree. It's not approved by any medical institution. The entity that supposedly regulates this field is the Professional Wellness Alliance, previously known as the Pastoral Medical Association. This group describes itself as a private ecclesiastical membership association with a mission to promote scripture-based health and wellness concepts. Many practitioners with a pastoral license use unproven remedies such as colloidal silver, various supplements, or of course, essential oils. Many practitioners were previously or still are members of health and wellness MLMs that have sought out these bogus degrees to hopefully boost the sales of their MLM products. These people even go around saying that they are doctors because many so-called colleges that have these degrees offer what they claim to be a PhD level education, which it definitely is not. According to NPR, the Texas Medical Board has sent out multiple cease and desist letters to pastoral practitioners for attempting to diagnose or treat serious medical conditions without the proper licensing. As a response, the PWA has stated that the regulation of the Almighty's healthcare concepts is outside the jurisdiction of secular regulatory boards. Convenient. Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're pro-alt-med or not, it's undeniable that the wellness industry, which encompasses these fake doctors with pastoral medical licenses, is an ever-growing industry. The Unwell documentary is a direct result of this industry. And if we don't do something, it's going to keep growing. And it's going to get a lot more dangerous. People like the Z's combine pseudoscientific remedies with very loose interpretations of scripture, commodify it, and then sell it to uninformed and often desperate people. They're capitalizing on the fact that, especially in the United States, we have an ever-growing population of scientifically illiterate people. We can't blame people for trusting someone who calls themselves a doctor when we haven't taught them how to identify the science from the pseudoscience. Just like we can't blame people for falling for MLM schemes when we haven't taught them the difference between ethical marketing and downright manipulation and deception. So what can we do? Well, we can continue to shed light on the dubious claims made by the alt-med community through producing blogs, YouTube videos, and exposés. We can advocate that our education system teach our kids not what to think, but how to think. We can advocate for education that emphasizes the importance of scientific methodology, of understanding how scientists arrive at conclusions, not just what the conclusions are. Most importantly, we can vote in government officials who trust science and want policies that reflect scientific consensus. We can vote out those that stand to profit from science denial and those who take advantage of the American consumer instead of informing the American consumer. If we all do a little bit of this, maybe we can slow the path of destruction that quacks, like biblical healers, leave in their wake. The less people they have to target, the less money they'll make, and eventually people like the Z's will be put out of business. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, please make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, check out my Patreon, follow me on Twitter at @TheAntibot, and I'll see you on the next one. Say bye!